Today, Monday, August 24th, 2015. You're listening to Paradoxes in Vegas, or The Problem with Everything. My name is Holiday Rob, and this is
Loki Satfoot.
And we're going to talk about a bunch of nonsense, philosophically getting deep, talking about trips to Vegas.
Balls deep in some philosophy, baby.
And about Rob's ridiculous exes or something, I guess, of some manner.
We're going to reminisce about the glory days when we had hope.
Yes.
Which I no longer have. I don't know about you.
I don't have dope. I don't have hope, man. I have dope.
Yeah, that's a reasonable replacement. At least you get something out of it in the here and now, right? Yeah.
You've got your problems. I've got my hash pipe.
You know, I feel... Yeah, that's their best album, Maladroit. It's my favorite. That one and the Pink album. Pinkerton? That's what it's called. Pinkerton.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Pinkerton's amazing.
After that, the green one on is pretty rough, I find.
Yeah, I stopped listening, so.
Yeah.
Love you, Weezer.
I noticed that when I do that little Morse code news, I'm doing the same pattern over and over, so it's probably just like 3 letters or something. It's probably like NM6, NM6.
I wish it was like SOS or something.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Save our streets, man. Save our streets.
If there's any Morse code experts out there, tell me what I just did. I don't know what I did. Maybe it wasn't even anything.
This is awesome. This podcast will still exist after the zombie apocalypse, and we have to telegraph again.
Dude, this podcast is flowing on the rays of the Earth out into the space forever.
You know what I didn't even ask? Did you watch the new Walking Dead spin-off thing?
No.
Okay.
We should watch it and speak of it next week.
Yeah, because I did see it.
Okay.
It was all right.
Word.
All
right.
It looks to get better.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to start slow, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I did hear that they're not going to reveal what the virus or whatever is. That's what I was worried about.
Oh.
I don't know. That was the thing. And I saw a thing like, rest assured, the show won't reveal the origin. Because I feel like that would kind of ruin it.
At this point, I don't want to know anymore.
Because they did the thing where they went to the CDC in the first season. Right. And then, like...
Because that never happens in the comic, as far as I've ever seen.
Right. And Kirkman and everyone else is like, yeah, just ignore that happened.
Really?
Just pretend we didn't do that in the first season. So they're not... Like, from what I hear, they're not going to revisit that shit. I liked it, but whatever.
Because there were... Okay, because real quick, we'll just, gloss over that. But it was like, in the beginning, people would die, and it would take anywhere from 2 hours to 8 hours before,
and then it accelerated, right?
Yeah, and then it accelerated. Yeah. And then it seemed like that rule didn't even apply. And spoiler alert, but in this, it doesn't apply. We're not going to wait 8 hours for people to turn into zombies. Which is, I guess, fine. I don't know. It's hard to make a world like that, create a universe like that. Because the thing of that is, even if we do get to find out the reasons or the answers or whatever, they're never going to be satisfied. It's always going to be
That's why leaving the mystery open to interpretation is always better.
See,
that's how the shark gets jumped.
At least in 28 Days Later, they tried to give some background to it, but not necessarily. It just started in a lab. They called it rage. It made animals act crazy.
It was a weapon, right?
It was going to be a weaponized thing, I guess. But there's not. It's not like, what happens is the cell and the blah 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 mutates.
I got to explain the specifics.
Right.
Just give it. We're not scientists watching this shit. Most of us. Anyway, tune in next week for some Fear the Walking Dead talk. I'll watch that shit and catch up, and then we'll speak of episodes 1 and 2.
Whoa.
Enjoy this episode. It gets all philosophical in the middle.
It gets all deep.
Yeah, balls deep in some philosophy.
Deep in your ear hole.
All right.
To your cerebral cortex.
Let's play a song to play us in. What does that mean, to play us in?
Fuck it.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Fuck it.
We're going to play 16 by Batwings for Lab Rats.
XVI to you people who don't know your Roman numerals.
Right, which is the place. The reason it's called that, the place I got that title is the 16 tarot card is the Tower, which is a tumultuous change.
Huh.
So that's where it comes from. 16 by Batwings for Lab Rats. We'll see you after to speak about some shit.
This is the problem with everything.
This is the sound. Build it up, tear it back down. That's the vision. This is the sound. Build it up, tear it back down. That's the vision. This is the sound. Build it up, tear it back down. That's the vision. This is the sound. Build it up, tear it back down. That's the vision. This is the sound. Build it up to tear it back down. That's the vision. This is the sound. Build it up to tear it back down. That's the vision. This is the sound. This is the sound. This is the sound. Are you living the dead? She said. I don't know when I turned and read the signs. It's like, are we ever really here or there? In between the edges of where I lie. Are you living the dead? She said. I don't know when I turned and read the signs. It's like.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hola.
Hello.
Konnichiwa.
Hello. Aloha.
Jumbo.
Am I louder than you? Are you loud enough?
Are we? I think we sound comparable.
We sound good.
Comparable.
Possible.
Say some stuff.
Say some stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, yeah, we're right.
Okay.
We're both right there.
Oh, we can hear that car really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
It gives it a real world ambiance, you know?
What is this real world?
That's the appeal of the podcast. It has that little layer.
Not doing this bullshit, no fancy ass studio like some bougie motherfucker. We're doing this shit in the hole, man. I forget what this place is called. It's called the something.
Did we come up with a name once?
I've called it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've called it stuff. The problem hole.
The problem hole.
Yeah, which for a lot of us seems to be our butthole. So.
Oh God. Oh,
that was some ear rape right there.
I'm sorry. This is all caught on shit. It's too close to my foot.
Stupid feet. Got to get some real mic stands in here, in the problem hole.
We need to get some of those ones that are like flexi flex, and you can move it, you know, and it's all
right.
You know
Well, let me get rid of some of these comics. I'm selling comics. If anybody gives a shit, I'm selling a comics. You can view what I have for sale at Holiday Rob on Twitter. I'm just selling all kinds of shit, man. We had a garage sale this weekend.
Yeah. How was that?
It was pretty sweet. We had the Indomitable, Intermittable, Incomparable.
Yeah.
Nicholas Furious.
Oh shit.
And yeah, he was
He
here.
sold some shit for you, or what?
Yeah, him and his bandmate Alex, they came and brought some stuff. There was a unicycle. A unicycle got sold. A guitar got sold.
Bitchin'.
You know, a small refrigerator I think didn't last. 2 small refrigerators actually left. So we have for real. We have some real ass garage sales. Like no, I'm just
Real ass garage sales, son.
a table got sold on top of like clothes. My Pillsbury Doman got
Doman. He's not
just
a boy. He's a
yeah,
man.
Yeah, no,
he's Pillsbury Doman. I like that. He goes, hee hee.
Yeah. He goes, hey, quit that shit.
What are you poking me for, motherfucker?
Cut that out, asshole.
Do I look like a boy to you? I'm not a boy, alright? Don't poke me.
Poke. That's how men laugh, right?
I don't know. I don't know any men.
Or
All I know are boys like us.
Yeah, right, man, boys. Which is why I'm selling comics. Did sell some comics. Sold like a third of a box or half a box. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can hear me drink now. We fixed our sound problems. I think we got our sound problems sussed out.
Sussed
Sussed out.
Sussed gendered problems.
Yep. I feel like that's still an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they had. I mean, I'm sure it has some kind of Latin root that I'm unaware of, but I feel the same way about that as I feel about like rhinoplasty. Like that's such an unfortunate choice of word, or stutter for someone who stutters. Cisgender, like you're inviting the word sissy to come into this conversation, right? Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you make that like an obvious option for somebody who wants to bully you?
Right.
For bringing up the concept of cisgender.
I always felt like it was a little redundant. I had to look it up because even though I feel like I'm on the edge of the social justice world.
To me, it's like, why can't you just call it normal? That's not offensive because it's the majority. You know what I'm saying? Most people, the vast majority,
not the normal, but the average.
Right, the vast majority of people are cisgendered, meaning identifying with their own.
It's like, why can't I find an extra large shirt in America? Because we're all fat and that's
double
the average.
XL and up,
right? Yeah, or like a large, or like you try and go find you find some shoes you like, and you're like, hey man, I wonder if they have those in my average size that every other fucker has.
Yeah, no.
There's like, no, we have it in a 13, and you're like, well, that's great because I didn't ask for that. I asked for 3 sizes smaller than that. So what's a fucking 13 gonna? What is you telling me about a 13 gonna do for me?
What would Shaq have done if he wasn't a professional basketball player? Like when he was like 18,
he'd have been an actor.
No, but like as far as clothing, like
Oh.
if you can't afford to have somebody custom make shoes for
Right,
you because you're a
right.
size 408 or whatever the fuck, it's crazy.
He's owning the bins at Goodwill.
Yeah,
Because there's always like these amazing like shoes or clothes or whatever in that size. You're like, oh man, if I was a giant, I could totally rock this. But I haven't been a giant yet, and I probably won't be because I'm done growing. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Hey Shaq, you just won the championship, man. How do you feel? We worked really hard, and I want to tell everybody they did a good job. Dude, my brother can like nail that. He can nail the shit out of that. Out of a Shaq. Yeah. So they're gonna do. It sounds like they're gonna do another Space Jam. How do you
I
feel
heard
about
that with LeBron, huh?
Oh, is that what they're gonna? Is that who?
Yeah, he just signed a contract with Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
Butt Rape, Universal, or whatever the fuck they're called.
Mm-hmm.
And like right after that, they renewed all the copyright shit for the Space Jam franchise.
Ah,
So it's gonna have LeBron. I assume Michael will make a cameo,
hope so.
and he'll again try to pretend like he's even remotely personable of a human being, and the camera will not betray his stone hateful demeanor.
Yeah, because it's gonna be kind of funny for Jordan to look at LeBron and be like, "Have not sent any black kids through college, maybe my own."
What?
Because LeBron, he did like I don't know if it was a scholarship or whatever, but like $41 million for like to get like 11 kids or something like that through college.
Nice.
Or
Jalen Rose
maybe it
started
was
a
more.
school.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It seems like LeBron James is a decent human being, from what I can tell.
Right?
I don't find him detestable
Yeah.
for any particular reason. The thing where he announced he was leaving Cleveland to go to Miami was douchey. But I feel like if that's the worst he's ever done, like he's never like discharged a gun in a nightclub. He hasn't been caught all coked out, swerving down the road.
He hasn't knocked his wife out in an elevator.
Right.
I mean, that's football, but still.
Yeah, but he hasn't made any shitty rap albums that I'm aware of. Like his record is pretty squeaky clean for being the greatest of all time or whatever. Everywhere he goes, he's worshipped. He's got a pretty good track record.
Full college scholarship program for 2,300 Akron kids. So
Wow.
2,300 kids from Akron, Ohio, got to go to college because of one LeBron James.
Yeah, Michael Jordan doesn't do shit like that. He just cheats at beer pong on his yacht. You know? Saw a picture of him. He's playing beer pong on a Miami Dolphins beer pong table.
Yeah.
And that elbow is way the fuck over the line. Like, if anything, he should have a line further back that he has to stand at to make it fair.
Well, I think we all know he's not the number one at throwing anything smaller than a basketball.
Still, though, if you're a pro basketball player, that's got to give you some advantage
Right?
when you're playing beer pong.
Oh, man. Oops. I made a sound on the microphone. Yeah.
Making all kinds of sounds.
Let's not do that again.
Yeah. It's all like hyper tuned right now, though. Like you can hear your chair when it moves.
Oh, I hate that. I hate this stupid chair. I don't know why. I should have sat in the other one, but that one's kind of, I don't know. I tried to sell it $8, man.
It's kind of stained.
$8 for an office chair.
If
Maybe
you
that's
listen
fine.
close, the chair goes, "It's been a while since I've been saddled."
I thought about like ghetto reupholstering it, just like sewing some shit on there.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. I don't know
hippie patchwork chair.
How do you upholster? I don't understand. How does that work?
How
Like,
do I upholster?
well, how does anyone upholster? I don't.
I don't
It
know.
seems like a mystery to
The
me.
answer to both is I don't know.
If you're not a professional upholsterer, I don't know what a.
I don't know. It looks like they like staple it on the back and then like sew it in the middle, right? Oh shit.
Well, they sew it in the middle, but then how does it still stick to the? I mean, maybe it's not really sticking to the foam
Do they
underneath.
glue it,
See, that's what I'm
or
wondering.
is it just
like,
pulled
is there
tight and then sewn
so
in some
tight?
places?
It's so tight that you can't differentiate the.
I'd call it so-so.
So-so.
So tight. Yeah. I don't know.
So for those of us that don't know, because I think it seemed like we got some good listens. We got like a lot of attention this week
we?
on Facebook, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't really.
And
I don't pay attention.
if you go on iTunes, you can find us on iTunes. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
To see our nonsense.
Subscribe to that shit. You can get it just like automatically all up in your iTunes podcast
Yeah.
tab or whatever.
Right? super convenient. But oh shit, I lost my train of thought.
That
Great.
sucks. You were
That
saying
was-
we got some decent listens?
Yeah, it seemed like we got some pretty decent listens. But
That's cool.
If you've listened to this podcast before, you know that, or read the bio or looked at any of our pages.
I thought
or
you were going to
whatever.
say read the Bible. Have you ever listened to this podcast
Or read the Bible.
You're familiar with
You've had several religious moments, I'm sure.
You're familiar with that feeling of ecstasy as God's love washes over you unconditionally between now and eternity stretched out before you.
Basically,
You know?
it's like an endless euphoric orgasm.
Right.
But, no, okay, so I've been going through all these old mini DV tapes, and I have,
Right.
like, I posted, like, online that I had, like, 40 hours. I think I got closer to, like, almost 60 hours
Hot waffle.
of footage from, like...
That's time and a half.
Right? That ranges from near 2000 to 2000 and there was I feel like there was some pretty recent Batwing stuff. So maybe it was like 2000 to 09 or 010 or something like that. And
Yeah.
and so I have like early practices at the agency.
Nice.
Maybe just 08 then. That would be 08 cuz how long did you guys have the space? It ended in 09
We
or?
had it for like a year. I don't fucking know years. I don't know what year what happened.
And so I'm like watching this stuff, and I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome just to see. I mean, I have like not only do I have that, but then I have like Fall Brawl, Isness. Fucking man, Smock, take a drink. He looks so young, dude. He's all thin and
Yeah.
not manly, still boyish.
I bet he was still manly. I think he had the manliness from birth.
But it was like crazy watching because it was all the original, like for the most part, not minus Alex, but like Chris and Bert
Nice.
and
The isness.
yeah, the Isness,
Yeah.
the world famous.
Because what happened is I was in this band called The Isness, and then we would play a couple shows with Holiday Sale, and I was like, this band's not that good. I should get that guy and start a better band, which I later would go on to do, and it went nowhere, and now we make a podcast that nobody gives a fuck about,
It went somewhere. We went
and
to a couple
soon I'll
places.
die. Yeah, I guess it was alright.
It was fun.
We
It's
touched
hard,
a couple lives.
it's kind of hard to watch that shit because you were like, So the weird thing for me, the reason it's weird for me to watch that shit is because here I am like hanging out with people like I haven't seen in some of them I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
Some of them I still keep in touch with, but like the interaction is totally different. You know, like there's people you're dating or they're dating and like they're in the video and shit. And
The world was different.
oh, it was absolutely different, man. There was this girl. I'm not gonna say her. We'll just call her Jay. I'm sure you can imagine what her name must be, but
I probably can.
only the most common name. But anyway, 6 degrees of separation. You are dating someone who is friends with her friend on Facebook.
That's not that weird.
Yeah, no, it's not. Albuquerque's pretty incestuous like that, but
Yeah.
but yeah, like so Jay used to like damn, I'm gonna give way too many details. Like participate in a certain ethnic thing.
The fuck are you talking about?
She used to belly dance, and
Okay.
and actually the first time I ever saw her was like at the Albuquerque Folk Festival when they used to have it in Tingley. So I was there with my like then girlfriend, and we're like watching, and she's like, "Oh, what do you think? She's hot?" And I was like, "Oh, she's okay. I mean, like, you're gonna ask me like that? Yeah, I'm not gonna be nice about it." And
That would have been your first cue to break up with whoever that was at the time. What the fuck kind of... You think she's hot? Why are you just setting me up to be angry at me? Fuck. Fuck you. Like, I'm not even going to respond to that question. Yes, she's hotter than you. I would prefer to fuck her. Is that what you want me to say? Is that what you want to hear right now? Anyway.
But anyway, and then later on, I would end up having Jay in a class of mine, and I have a thing for I will be like I have a thing for faces, and this is about a girl, but I really do have a thing for faces. Like
What do you mean a thing?
I can just
you remember them?
Yeah, very like bizarrely, very well. You know,
Yeah.
There's very few people. Usually, there's like, and I can name them because I can never remember their fucking faces. Like Sienna Miller. Like, I don't know what that bitch looks like. She just looks like some white bitch. Some, like, blonde white bitch.
I don't
Like,
know. Who is that? Is that a
she-
famous person?
She, like, was banging Jude Law, I think, on the side, or...
All right.
Yeah, she's like famous, quote unquote. Like she's done. Oh, you know who she was? She was that shitty on the Cobra side in G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I'm
She's
not familiar.
She's a terrible actress, but she's a terrible actress with an absolutely forgettable face.
like Megan Fox terrible, or like Will Smith's children terrible?
I guess Megan Fox. 'Cause I
So
don't.
not
I don't.
that bad.
Yeah,
Or is that's better, right? That's on
It's-
I would say that's higher
it's
than
barely
Will Smith.
better, though.
Yeah. I guess those weren't good examples. I don't know what the high end of the bad acting scale
Oh,
is.
high end of the bad acting.
Like Kevin Nealon or something.
Oh yeah, poor Kevin. It's
But
just
he's
because
a
he gets
comedian. You
yeah,
get a
but he
pass,
gets
you know?
he gets cast in really terrible shit a lot of times. But
He was
anyway,
in Weeds. That's supposed to be good.
yeah, and he was in Grandma's Boy, which I thought was
Yeah,
a classic.
he was funny in that.
They're just like okay, so those and like whatever Broken Lizard
Yeah.
movies are kind of I don't know. Anyway,
Anyway,
but so yeah, so like I have this weird thing for faces because I can just kind of remember people's faces most of the time.
yeah.
But anyway, so then yeah, I had her in a class and had Jay in a class, and it was so funny. And so we would like hang out because we had the same class and just became like
What do you
homies.
mean by hang out?
We would work on video projects together.
You would work on getting it.
Yeah, especially when our boyfriend was in the room. This is
Your boyfriend?
no,
You and
her,
her? Oh,
her,
okay.
her boyfriend.
I thought it was some sort of three-way. I was like, I did not know you were bisexual. This
No.
changes everything.
It just changes everything.
We need
no,
to
it only
talk.
changes half of things.
Well,
But anyway, so it was really, I don't know, it was just really weird to like have this girl be like an enemy of the girlfriend that I was dating, or enemy in that moment or whatever. Like make friends with her in a class, and then she ended up being like really close friends with my girlfriend to the point where like things got a little awkward and weird between she and I.
whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. And now like nothing. Like now we don't talk to each other. Like that girlfriend and her had like the biggest falling out. But I have like these people on video, and so like I can watch it because it's from my fucking perspective behind a camera the whole time. And I don't know, it's really bizarre to just be like in these places and these spots and see these things and kind of experience them again. Cause I forgot, like I filmed some of this shit. Like I'm filming her like doing a recital, like belly dancing recital, and then like I'm like watching her and obviously like kind of being like, this is pretty cool. But then like turning the camera to her boyfriend, to the side and shit like that. It's just like, it's weird to experience that again. I don't like drug trips. The only, justice you can do to something like that. And so going through all these tapes, man, but it's like 60 hours of shit, and I know what's on some, but I do have to watch some of them because I had started doing a documentary for this band called Feels Like Sunday, who like just like most Albuquerque bands and probably most like independent local bands just like deflates after, even with a good run. Like they had like an 8-year run or something, like almost 9 years. Like I think they either got started in 99 or 2000 and they made it till 2008.
Wow.
And so I used to think like, oh, I got like 14 hours of this shit. Nah, dude, I got like 16 or 17 hours of this shit. Like just performances and hanging out. And I have like some stuff that I totally forgot I even had at this party.
You gotta make the movie, man.
I know, right?
You have the footage.
No. So now what I should do, I should make
You gotta go find them and interview
Exactly.
them.
Do like a road trip movie but like throw the whole like story in there or something like that. So yeah, after like watching that, I was like, that might be the way to go.
Yeah.
So
I would have a hard time watching any of that footage because I would see my younger self when there was the gleam of a wide open future in my eye.
oh,
And I look at it and I just be all, yeah. That's gone.
Don't get me wrong. As I'm filming it, I know that that's probably like going on in my head as I was filming it. So when I'm watching it, I'm like, wow, everything just fucking.
When you see stuff like that, like your mindset in that moment comes back in ways you didn't remember feeling, because you see details that were gone from your memory.
Right.
So it all comes back to life vividly, and it's like, oh, I had hope. I thought for sure there was a chance for success in the world.
We were all going to be rich and famous.
Yeah. Nope. Nobody cares.
Ah, well, what a hell of a ride.
10 identical tentacles titillatingly tickle 20 10-ton testicles.
Damn.
Let me try that again.
How did that one go?
10 identical tentacles titillatingly tickle 20 10-ton testicles.
Yes, sir. I'll buy it.
Let's play a song, shall we? This is the problem with everything, and I'm Loki Sapfoot.
I'm Holiday Rob, and this next song is by a band called Holiday Sale,
You might know them if you know who we are at all.
right?
You know that it's Rob's band.
It's called Sitting on My Hands.
Ooh, I like this one. I like all of them, though. I'm like Holiday Sale fan. I'm your biggest fan. All right. Sitting on My Hands by Holiday Sale. Word up.
Sitting on my hands, sick of my demands. I wait for the afternoon
the thing of it is, we were lying to ourselves if we didn't think we were going to end up in a box anyway, or at the
In a box?
or
man.
at the bottom of the ocean.
Are we on the fast track to death? What do you mean?
Yes.
Oh, you mean eventually?
Eventually, yeah.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
That's a
Everybody,
good point.
everybody ends up there. I started. I was writing something, and I was like, oh, we're all working towards entropy.
I've been thinking lately, it's like, fame would have sucked, right? That shit would suck. Like, like being Kanye West. Like, that's a bad example. But being someone who's, like, somewhat reasonable and super famous, you know?
Right.
Like, everything's under a microscope.
Oh,
complete
yeah.
scrutiny on things that you're not even thinking about meaning anything.
Right,
And people, yeah,
When I said Redman, I was talking about the rapper, not.
right. Yeah. But then I was thinking, like, do I just say that to myself now to make me feel better for being a failure? Is that...
I don't. It has
You know what I'm
it has
saying?
its drawbacks and it has its pluses. I mean, on the plus side, you're like, oh, I don't have to work anymore.
I would have
to
liked...
work a shitty job.
It's like if you could be like No Effects level, like No Effects, Bad Religion, like Cottonmouth Kings, that middle level where people
Yeah.
who know you when they see you walking down
Yeah.
the street, but average motherfuckers,
Yeah.
you're just another guy.
Not some.
That would be ideal. So you get all the ego love, and you get enough money to do it for a living.
What, man? Are you doing this for your ego? Yeah, if somebody
Yes.
says they're not doing it for their
Yes,
ego, they're
I
a
am.
fucking liar. And
Right.
if you listen to them, you're believing liars. You're very gullible. Everybody
Right.
does it. Everybody does it for fucking ego. I hate that shit. I
Maybe
hate-
not. There's different levels.
Well, there's different levels,
Like-
but it always plays a factor in that.
Right.
Like no matter what you do, if you're a fucking artist and you're like either having a show or wanting or having anybody look at it outside of yourself, you're
Right.
fucking showing your ego. Like I hate fucking artists like that. They're like, no man, there's no ego. Fuck you. There's totally some ego.
Well, that's like the same thing I was just saying, where they're saying that to make themselves feel better about being failures. The fact that no one cares about the shit they're making, so
Yeah.
they say, oh, you're a sellout because people like you. You know? Like, well, you isn't the point to sell out? Like,
Right,
I understand you don't do like a Hyundai commercial, but still,
right,
like,
right. Or sit there like eating a hamburger off of
Right.
some Kathy Griffin.
Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
Snorting
Yeah.
hamburgers out of Kathy Griffin's crack.
Ugh.
I'd like to see that, though. Somebody snort like a tiny little hamburger out of her butt crack. That'd be crazy. That'd be wild to see.
A line of them, a
line
column, if you will.
A line of burgers.
Yeah, I don't know. The people that say there's no ego in it is bullshit. If that was true, what you do is you create your art, you finish your masterpiece, you observe it for the moments, and then you burn it.
Yeah,
Burn it!
right. Which some do, like the sand paintings, right?
Oh man, those
There's
Buddhist
no
sand
ego
paintings.
in that. Yeah,
Yeah, even the native ones around here, which is kind of
they do that too, right? They
Yeah.
both do it where they make it and then immediately destroy it.
Yeah, here it's more ceremonial. I mean, there it's also ceremonial, but these ones are like ceremonial specific, whereas those, they can kind of do those in public and then get rid of them, or they have been. I don't know. I think we're talking mostly like, okay, so somebody asked this question, how come Tibetan monks get all the you know, like there's monks from other not Tibetans but Buddhists. There's Buddhists from everywhere. Like why does Tibet get them? And it's because Tibet got taken over by China.
Their
Create-
story is more interesting.
And
Yeah.
well, and I think at this point they were like, well, wait, so we don't ever get to go home. Fuck it, the whole world's our home. So that's why you have like the Dalai Lama always going like places, and
Right.
you know, there's Tibetan monks like everywhere, even in this town.
In the
they're-
airport.
they're everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I think they had to kind of be like, well, I guess if we do ceremonial shit, it has to be public because home is everywhere.
Right.
I don't know. Buddhism, like some people there's like drawbacks of like, you know, self-destructive behavior, which I'm like, oh, you're saying that while you're drinking a beer?
Well, what's not self-destructive?
Yeah.
On some level, everything's going to kill you. Right?
I went jogging today. Well, that's bad for your joints. Well,
It's true. Yeah, exactly. Right.
but it's great for your heart.
It's like eating no meat is bad for you. You don't get protein. Eating nothing but red meat, terrible for you. Like,
Right.
It's all.
Yeah. Well, and
You know what's weird about Buddhists? Is
Yeah.
most people in our culture think of like the mystical Zen Buddhist kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is that the majority of the Buddhists on planet Earth are like Christians only with Buddha.
yeah.
Like, they believe that he's, like, God incarnated in a person and that they just have to, like, say these phrases and then they'll go to paradise
Right,
land.
right.
It's totally retarded, just like Christianity.
So they have like a velvet Buddhist, like there's a velvet Jesus.
Right, yeah.
And the Muslims have a velvet nothing, but they're like,
right.
it's Muhammad.
They have a black rock that they have to go and touch through a curtain. That's what they you know about that? The Kaaba?
Is that in Jerusalem or near Jerusalem?
Yeah, it's in the Promised Land. Like when people go to Mecca,
Yeah,
right? It's in
yeah.
Mecca. They go to the place, and there's this like
Oh, I can't
thing,
remember
this
him.
little hut built,
Yeah.
and I think it's portable. I think it's kind of like a Raiders of the Lost Ark situation. And inside of it is this black rock.
Don't
called-
look at the ark.
It's called the Kaaba.
Yeah.
And like they all go and they touch it. And I saw a picture of it, I think, and it's all like worn away. I might be thinking of that kissing rock that the Irish kiss. though.
That part,
So don't
no,
quote
that's
me on
nasty.
that.
That's on a high wall, and you can actually like lay down on your back and
Right.
Yeah,
and you have
no.
to like lean out over a cliff,
But there's
right?
talking about kissing shit. There's also the kissing wall or whatever, the wailing wall. I think in like
Jerusalem.
yeah,
Yeah.
which people also kiss. People like to
I didn't
kiss.
know they kissed that.
Oh, I
I
thought
thought
they
they just
did.
like grabbed it and prayed or something.
Oh, I don't-
Don't they stick? Isn't that the one where they stick the prayers in?
They can, yeah, in between
ride it
in
and
between the bricks or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
that's the Wailing Wall, right?
I don't. All that stuff is lost on me.
I-
You know, when I commune with God or the universe or a larger power or myself.
When you come.
Well, I was gonna say when I sit down to eat a lobster, but
Yeah.
or something like that.
I'm like strangely interested in religion. I have
Yeah.
like this weird point of view where I believe in all of them at once,
Yeah.
especially the parts that contradict each other. That's my stance.
Well,
Because it's all clearly nonsense. Right?
well, and life is kind of. Oh, we're gonna get philosophical here.
Pause now, smoke a bowl, come right back. You'll be right there with us.
Right. Whatever your drug is,
Yeah.
take some mushrooms, drink some coffee,
Right.
play with yourself.
I hope people play with themselves while they listen.
But existence, or maybe not existence, but understanding of existence seems kind of paradoxical, right? Like, you ever argue with somebody who's like on the, not like necessarily on the creationist side, but just on the, it doesn't matter, intelligent design or like, we're here because, for some kind of purpose, as if like, so my thing about like chaos and randomness is like, okay, you just don't have the ability to understand that.
Right.
Like,
it's not random. It just appears that
it just
way
seems
because
like
you're
it's-
not zoomed out enough and you're thinking.
exactly. Like the problem with pi is we'll never get to see the pattern in it because it's so large. We probably won't be able to experience it in our lifetime. Like it's
Right.
just something that if you were going to do that, you could do that for the ages. Let's start right now, buy it right now, man, and then we'll like take a look at it later on as
Right.
computers progress, and so do we. But and I don't know, maybe. But even if there is like no noticeable pattern, to me, there's still some kind of order to that. Like even within chaos.
So
like,
you're saying there's no such thing as infinity, right?
well, there is a such thing as infinity. So
As a concept. But
yeah.
is there literally, or does it all have a definable end that if you zoom out enough, you can
Right.
see?
right,
Right?
Maybe it doesn't. I mean, see, that's the thing.
Doesn't
that's-
it have to, if reality is real? Doesn't there have to be an end somewhere, or it's all undefined?
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right? I don't have a clue. I
We're
mean,
all grasping for a way to make this feel like it's okay.
but I mean, if you're
It's
thinking
not-
of a
it's not
circle,
real.
like a circle doesn't have an end, and I mean, if we just
It does in the sense that it encloses the circle, though.
right.
If you're on the line, it doesn't have an end, but if you're inside it or outside it, it does.
It has an
Whoa,
end.
man.
Whoa, like an edge, you mean, or like
Right,
oh,
yeah.
but that's if there's a thickness.
Well, if you're...
Girth plays a part in everything, apparently.
Hell yeah. You get that curve right, you hit the spot. That's what circles are all about.
And next
Circles and lines,
And next thing
baby.
you know, bam, sandwiches.
Ones and zeros.
Sandwiches.
I like that concept of like the 1 and the 0 is like, since the Matrix, that's like our new like technological religion, right? Like
Right.
binary,
Yeah.
which is like the yin and the yang, like the black, the dark separated from the light.
on and off.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like 1 and 0, but it's also sexual, like the line and the circle, like the male and the female. The male energy is the like on, and the female is the off, the receptive, right?
Although if you're talking about civilization, women would probably be on and men would be off.
Well,
'Cause
in a way.
I read this. I read this great thing by a social worker. This I don't know if, or maybe she was a sociologist. She was. Yeah, those are hugely different things. I think she was a sociologist.
Maybe she was a sociopath. I don't really remember. It was so something.
So she is your bishop, but she was writing about Jackass, like the TV show Jackass, and she was
Yeah.
saying that, like, well, no, it's not. You know, this is a perfectly somewhat normal thing for the biological nature of a male. She's like, males, you know, she's like, females are able to function in civilizations a lot better than males. Males have that, like, propensity to be risk-taking for really good reasons because, you know, you have to protect, you know,
Right.
people.
And that's why I
hunt.
say the male energy is the on, because it has to, it's that crazy monkey that's got to get out, man. Whereas the female is calm, receptive, looks out, like, figures out what's going on, and then acts practically. It's
Right, right,
off.
right.
It's, you know what I mean? It's the dark, it's the calm, where the male is the light that's shooting everywhere, trying to find a darkness to penetrate. You
The
know what I'm
gamma
saying?
rays of the hypernova. No, so would I say, like, because then the other example that I use for why existence is a contradiction is, do you know what hypernovas are?
Maybe. Tell me.
So, like, a supernova is like when a star collapses on itself and then, like, explodes or whatever,
Right.
and and usually, I guess, becomes a black hole.
I'm familiar with champagne supernovas in the sky, so this
Champagne
is
supernova in the sky. Nova. He said Nova.
Ugh.
But so hypernovas usually happen on the edge of the universe. What we know it, what we can find as the edge.
our edge.
Yeah, our edge, as we
perceptual
understand
edge.
it, and mainly because it's like very young acting. You know, like when those big pictures came out from the Hubble telescope that were like the fingers of, you know, creation and stuff like that, where they were like star, what do they call them, like star ovaries or whatever. I don't know, not like that.
Star ovaries.
But you know where stars are born and things, nurseries, star nurseries.
yeah.
But on the edge of the universe, there's these suns, these stars that are being created that are so massive that they can't even hold their own weight, so they collapse under their own weight. And so as they collapse, I mean, they're like massive. I don't even have an ability to express to you how big they are. That they are that big that they collapse. So as they collapse, what happens is they create these jet streams of gamma rays.
Okay.
And so these jet streams of gamma rays must move like extremely fast because they. So how we found this out is because when Chernobyl happened, right, in 1986 in Russia,
Yeah.
Chernobyl happened, and the world's we're always measuring radiation, like atmospheric radiation. So when that happened, it's noticeable.
There's a spike.
Yeah, when Nagasaki and Hiroshima happened, there's a spike.
Right.
And so they were noticing these spikes that were happening, though, and that was kind of like, oh, well, maybe the Russians are testing nukes behind the moon. Well, no, what they were reading were these, like, gamma rays, like, traveling across the universe, like, flying by, and they were hitting our magnetic field or something like that.
Whoa. And those are coming all the way from the edge of the universe.
Yes. And so the idea was like, well, maybe that kind of kick-started life on this planet or any planet, really, like, because it warms things up and it kind of gets things moving. Like,
It's like a sea monkey situation.
kind of, yeah, it kicks things into gear. Yeah, it's the water for the sea monkey. And but the fucked up thing, or the interesting thing, is that, like, so this gamma radiation, so like a hypernova collapses and the gamma radiation goes like flying out. This ray does. But, like, anything that's too close will get obliterated. So say you have a planet with life and it just, like, gets obliterated by this ray. But then further out, it, like, causes life to happen. So within, like, a singular act, the universe has, like, proven its amorality.
Right.
You know, that
Exactly.
that it behaves and acts in ways that, you know,
Well, look
are
at
amoral.
the sun. Our sun is a good example of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously the sun gives us life. Every ancient religion is solar-based, right?
Right.
And it's that for good reason. Without the sun, we're nothing. There's no crops, there's no light, we can't see, we would die.
Right. This is an ice ball of nothing.
But we now know that the sun just kills you. all the time. It just gives
Right.
you cancer.
Right.
It melts your fucking skin off.
To be the
While
you
it
know
gives you
besides
life.
besides the fact that if you were off this planet without our nice magnetosphere and atmosphere, or if you were like trying to stand on the sun, you'd be nothing. Watch Sunshine. That's a really awesome movie about the sun.
Sunshine? Is that
Yeah.
a documentary?
No, it's a movie by train spotting dude Danny. Oh man, I'm gonna forget his name all of a sudden.
Daddy Oman.
Danny McLeod. No. Oh shit. But he directed 127 Hours, Slumdog Millionaire.
All right.
I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. This is
Sunshine.
pathetic. But yeah, Sunshine's with the dude who plays the Scarecrow in the Christopher Nolan.
And the Batman.
I'm the Batman. Hey man, do you have a throw lozenge? Yeah, I gotta find the
I
Joker.
can't watch that. I know I've said it before in every public forum I've ever been a part of.
That's like me with Family Guy. You can't watch it.
I like it, but
Yeah.
every time I watch it, it gets dumber because his stupid voice. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
I can't take it seriously.
I don't know.
He's great as Bruce Wayne, and then he acts like Batman. I'm the Cookie Monster Batman. It's so fucking dumb. I can't take it.
Hey kid, you got any cookies on Batman?
Yeah.
He's trying to hide his voice, man. He can't let them know who he is.
That's
Otherwise,
fine, but why not do a voice that's not douchey and stupid?
hello everybody. Oh, my name is Batman.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh, really? I'm here to find the Joker, and I'm going to take him down. Have you seen Bane? I'm really worried about him. He's a big tough guy. He used to be a wrestler and whatnot. Hello, Governor.
Governor.
But yeah, I don't know. So I see the contradiction there. I see the paradoxical actions of the universe, and so
Right,
to
but
me,
that's-
existence seems paradoxical in general.
Which is the need that gives rise to the need for religion or some sort of thing in the first place, right?
Because you can't deal with the paradox, or
Exactly. You have to find a way to explain it. Like, that's the thing.
there has to be some order
Or even not explain it, but you have to find a way to cope with
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
So you have like the yin and the yang, which shows that they're like each thing springs forth its opposite, right? Like,
So-
which is the existence and non-existence thing.
Have you seen? Speaking of trying to like make sense of it, have you seen Galaxy? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or have you
I've
read
read
that?
it,
You've read
yeah.
it, okay. So you probably have better.
I don't really remember reading it, but I
Well,
have read all.
Okay,
of them.
so spoiler alert for those of you who don't know. Like the whole point of like the existence of Earth was like to try and figure out the big question of why existence, right? Like this super race on this planet created Earth.
right?
It's like
Which
a
South
project.
Park later basically ripped off. As
Did
like
they?
the reality show, kind of. Well, no, not really. Anyway, sorry.
But because I live under this like delusion or like idea that if you can like absorb enough information about life and existence and how everything works, the universe, if you can understand everything you can learn about the universe, then you'll be able to like, I don't know, I guess not necessarily know what the point of life is, but maybe predict events that would seem absolutely, completely random. So if I was to be like, oh yeah, at like 3:30 a.m. on Friday, there's going to be a car that comes by here. It's going to be a gray Subaru, and it's going to roll into, towards the front, like...
You say enough information, right? But what if instead of enough, it's just the right information?
Yeah.
But if you know that little piece, it shows you the nuances of all the other ones. You know what I'm saying? It's like the idea of like, it's like the Book of Five Rings. I don't remember the guy that wrote it, but
Yeah.
he says if you find the way in one thing, you will know the way in all things.
In all things, yeah.
Like that idea. Or like Robert Anton Wilson tells a story. He's like, there's this man, he played the violin, and every day he played the same note for hours, and his wife was driven insane by this.
Yeah.
And it finally broke her patience. She was like, what the fuck, man? I'm obviously paraphrasing. This is
Right.
how he tells it. Like, what the fuck, man? Why don't you play different notes? Other people, when they play the violin, they play melodies, and it progresses, and there's like a story that happens with the music, and he's like, well, they're all looking for the place. I've found it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, instead of like getting more and more, because if you, like, I do that. We all do that in our society, right? There's constant facts. Like, you get on Reddit in the morning and you learn like 50 things all of a sudden that you didn't know before in 5 minutes.
Right.
But like, that doesn't really do much for
Are
you.
these facts though, or just information? I mean, information's different than facts.
What do you
I
mean?
would say. Well, I don't know.
Information
Like
is
listening
facts,
to Donald Trump is information.
right? Oh, okay.
It's not factual though.
I gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying. So there's noise, and then there's useful information.
Right,
So how do
there's-
you parse that out, right? How do you know what
I
to
guess
listen to?
To me, like personally, if we're gonna talk about this, like I pick things out that would fit into other things categorically. So whereas people see like the difference between ecology and politics and sociology and, you know, just on and on, you know, they break things, economics. Like to me, you know, sociology and politics and economics, like those are different facets of the same thing. So when there's a pattern in like not just in all three of them that's noticeable to some extent, then they obviously operate under a similar system.
Right.
So,
But of course, all systems are in one system if you zoom out enough,
Right.
which is what you're saying, right?
right, and so I think the thing that's really fun though is that when you're trying to deal with logic is very like, you know, if then or causal or
Right. They're very rigid rules.
yeah,
of
very-
what makes what happen.
like very fact based
Right.
to find truth. It's like using facts to find a larger truth or a deeper truth or a deeper meaning. Is oh shit, man.
So,
Isn't
like,
it?
if you're looking at all this, like, there's all this information, right? It's not necessarily about, it's like I'm saying, not more info, but
Yeah.
the right info. Like, if you can find the way something works,
Uh-huh.
that'll give you a clue into the way something else works. So if you observe intelligently, right, you'll find the answer, which
Right.
is science.
But so the problem starts becoming, though, this is where I was getting. The problem starts becoming, though, when you look at things like quantum physics, things
shit.
that don't behave. So, when I was younger, I used to be like, "Oh, I'm a nihilist," right? And people would be like, "Oh,
believe in nothing."
He believes in nothing, Lebowski."
Yeah.
But I didn't mean it in that way. I wasn't like, no, because the cool thing about not believing in anything, it leaves the potential to believe in everything.
Exactly.
Kind of thing going on, you know. So like, I don't want to say like it's an inverted nihilist or something like that, because it's not the belief in everything. It's just saying you're open to the possibility that anything can happen once. Like,
Right.
like whether or not we're talking about like parallel, you know, universes existing in infinitude right now. What I'm not saying that necessarily. That's open for possibility too. But like, you say there's a place where like people can fly.
Yeah. Why not?
That's absolutely possible. There's not been one thing in the universe that has shown me that
Right. Birds can do it. Why couldn't people?
That there isn't the, you know, maybe there are humans or whatever, but you know, technically or whatever. But still, like there is the absolute possibility
maybe
that
a
this
tomato
exists.
is not a vegetable, but it's basically a vegetable. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't eating that shit with some caramel dipping sauce or whatever. Like, I'm eating some apples with that shit. But yeah, like and quantum physics almost like proves that idea that like everything can act in a very, you know, physics, everything can act in a very ordered way, very predictable way, very like to the book kind of way. But then quantum physics come along and goes, well, there's these things that happen, you know, under
Right.
these extreme, you know, conditions that, you know, are absolutely unexpected, random, and not things that we would, you know, be able to measure or notice or.
But that doesn't disprove the system still works. Newtonian physics still works. If I
Yeah.
jump off a bridge, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm going to move at 10 seconds per second downward.
Right.
You know, or 10 feet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
10 feet per second downward. Yeah. But it's like I forgot what I was going to say.
Shit.
I lost my train of thought.
Damn.
Shit is crazy. out there, you know what I'm saying? That's what you watch local comedians and they forget. They just go, "Shit's crazy,
Yeah,
right?
out there.
It's crazy."
It's a crazy world, though. It's a crazy world.
Yeah. I watched, no offense to him, he's a good comic, but I watched, Black Mike?
From here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched him do a set once, and I
Yeah.
wish I would have counted the amount of times he said, "Oh, it's crazy, it's crazy." Like, it's like his, you know what I mean? Anyway, I digress.
We need to work on a good like,
You can do it like the French. It's like if you just keep making noise between your words, people
no, I was thinking
won't,
like of a phrase though, like I fisted a duck once. Like that's your You're sitting there.
I feel like that would be distracting.
Today we're presenting I fisted a duck once, a play by a playwright named I fisted a duck once, William.
Yeah, well, people would just get used to it, and then it would just be another part of the parlance.
Except when your kid gets out of there and he's like, "Hey, Mom, I fisted a duck once." What you little shit.
Hola Maria, ¿cómo estás? This is Loki Sapfoot. You're listening to The Problem with Everything.
And this is Hola de Rob.
And we're going to play a song by Batwings for Lab Rats.
Bienvenidos.
This was our friend Cynthia's favorite, so shout out to Cynthia. This is Exist by Batwings for Lab Rats.
Bienvenidos.
See. Anyway, my whole thing about, like, the mysteries of the universe is intentional paradox, right? Where people like try to unravel like the paradox and try to figure out like the truth behind it and how it can be, because it can't really be a paradox, right? My thing is I just go the other direction. Just accept it all and argue for things that you can't prove. So that's why it's like eternal devil's advocate. Like basically whatever someone's arguing for or against, I take the other side. But like sincerely. That's the trick. Like not just like cynically, but sincerely.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I'm too cynical.
Me too.
And sarcastic.
But the aim, that's the aim, right? Is to like to believe in both like atheists and Christians at the same time, and they're both right, and that's somehow possible. That's my whole trip. That's what I try to achieve, because that's the only thing that really makes sense.
Yeah,
like because you're talking about the paradox of existence. Like the only thing that really makes sense is nonsense. So if you just play long enough, maybe God will show you the truth, right? Be like, all right, you're a clever one. Whatever.
So that might...
Here's the key to the kingdom.
That seems like my information soakingness. See, like, the thing was, like, when I was a little kid, it wasn't, they used to be like, oh, you have above average intelligence, however they want to measure that or whatever. But it was never like that I was above average. It was just that, like, I could pick out the patterns and figure out the systems. Like, people are...
That's what intelligence is.
I guess. But I mean, it was just, it was never like, oh, I know everything. It's just like...
Well, and that's the problem with schooling, is it's memorizing facts, but that's not intelligence. That doesn't help you in the world. Knowing how to deal with facts helps you in the world.
Because here's the thing. So, like, let's say, like, Coast Guard medic. Like, let's just pick a subject. Coast Guard medic. What do I know about a Coast Guard medic? I don't know shit about that. But you know what?
I know that they'll be ready. They'll be ready.
But see, like, so from what I've seen of like media, like either news or TVs or read a book or read a article in a magazine, like somehow I can pool all that information I can about this, but other subjects that come up.
But you get when you think of you get a picture in your head at least, right? Something comes up through the miracle of language. Like you have a concept, you think of everything you know about it. Right.
And so it all just pools together, and then it seems like I can have a semi intelligent conversation about it for the next 5 minutes of, as I'm standing next to this guy waiting in line for something, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is, but also to be able to filter out the bullshit, to be like, oh no, Deuce Bigalow is not necessarily a good reference for what a gigolo does. There's other shows and movies which have factual...
You need a wider sample
exactly
of gigolos than just...
Maybe some Richard Gere in there. I don't know, man. But there's a way to sift the information so that the
They should make a sequel to Deuce Bigalow or Becomes a Gigolo.
Oh.
Now he becomes a juggalo.
No.
The Juggalo
The
Gigolo?
Juggalo Gigolo. No, you just need to do that. That just needs to be a sitcom.
Yeah.
He just like comes home after a hard day of Juggalo jiggling. And
Ugh.
speaking of which, if you're ever in Aurora, Washington, apparently the house where that was from the Goonies.
I heard
They've
about that.
they've closed it because people have been doing the truffle shuffle on the lawn or some shit.
It's all
like that.
worn down and shit.
Which I don't know why. If you were going to do that, fuck it then. Just put a mat down that says "Truffle Shuffle happens here," and then people will.
Was it a
do
museum
there.
or something? What do you mean they closed it?
I think it was a private residence or something.
So
I
they
don't-
like put a fence up?
They
you mean,
must
to
have.
keep-
I didn't read the article.
I
But
don't see
just,
a problem with that. You know who I feel bad for is whoever lives in Walter White's house. In
Oh my
Albuquerque.
god! And they keep getting pizzas thrown on top of
Yeah,
their shit.
and just I'm sure all kinds of shit. There's always someone in your front yard doing some silly thing.
Besides the fact that we have that like trolley tour that probably like goes by every day, and you're just sitting there you're like, must be the
My lady friend lives very nearby Jesse and Jane's duplex.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So occasionally you'll see people out there. It looks way different though than the way they framed the shots made the street look different than it is to
Oh
me.
really?
Like even standing in front of it, I'm like, it doesn't look like it did.
They did that with Jesse's house too, because
Really?
his house looks like, to me, it looks like it's in the Heights, but it's down on like silver.
No, it looks like it's down by like the Little Theater to me.
Oh, okay.
Is that where it is? That's where it is. Right?
It's like south or west of downtown.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, like in older, in between.
Where all them fancy houses are.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's where I thought it was.
that's crazy. I always laugh because, for those of you Breaking Bad fans out there,
And who isn't, right? Fuck you if you don't like Breaking Bad.
there was like in the last season when Walter White comes back to Albuquerque and it's his like 55th or
52nd.
52nd birthday, and he's like doing the bacon and the Denny's.
Denny's, yeah.
I painted the stalls in that Denny's with my
Right.
vomit before it closed.
Oh, the stories I have from that Denny's. Who even knows? Who knows the things that happen?
And now it's closed, and that sucks shit, dude. Why?
It's just a giant chain.
Yeah, well, I mean,
eatery.
that's not.
Yeah.
I don't care about that, but
Is there anything there? It's just
nothing
like,
right now.
They like bulldozed it, right? It's like
Is
an
it
empty
bulldozed
lot.
now?
I think
don't.
so.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't looked, but last time I was walking through there, it was up. I mean, I should know. It's like 3 blocks away, but I don't really go that direction anywhere over there. But yeah, there's some stories. Some things happened. I think one night. Isn't that where we met that chick? A is for a time of the year.
That is. Yeah.
We were just there after a show or some shit. We were like I'm sure we were all had been drinking, and we were just like, we need some food because we need to not wake up with hangovers or empty stomachs tomorrow. And then A was there with like some dude, and I think her sister too or whatever. And
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, and that
One
was
thing led to another.
that was a weird
Yada, yada, yada.
yada yada yada. That guy's asking me to leave in the middle of the night. Are you gonna sleep here, bro? Or what?
I don't even remember, dude. I don't fucking. You know what's weird is, Wake Self?
Yeah.
I did a show with him, and so I had to get some money from him after, and he lived in that house. It was so bizarre. I sort of dramatically, if you want to call it, dated a chick once that lived here. Like,
Oh, in the
really
student
weird.
ghetto, really? Mm-hmm. Holy shit, I didn't know that.
on this very street,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
That way.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking.
Anyway,
that you're talking about.
This is all way too clouded and mysterious for the podcast. No one knows what we're talking about. Right
Doesn't
now.
matter. These are funny stories of
Yeah.
daring do that we used to get into.
Daring
There was the thing about, okay, so you can either measure your success in like money or fame, but man, the shit we got to do with Batwings, adventure-wise, was pretty priceless. Like,
Was it? I feel like it. Like there was a couple moments.
yeah, you feel like we could
For
have
the
done better.
most part, I felt like we played to empty rooms in shitty bars in Albuquerque.
Yeah,
That's
but then,
how I mostly.
but it was always outside of
just a
that
pessimist,
where the
I guess.
adventures happened. It was
Yeah, there was a
like,
couple.
you know, like drinking and going out and doing things and
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, meeting crazy people and being engaged in their life for a moment.
Yeah.
Like so there was this girl in Vegas when we were partying at the Cabana down by the pool, and all those girls from like Utah. I remember there was that one girl who was just like shit faced, wasted.
I don't really remember.
Oh man, who could remember those times?
Yeah. I remember flashes of Jason getting kicked out of the pool. That's about all that really comes to mind. I don't know.
There was like an MMA fighter, but then there were all these girls from like
Cage fighter, bro.
they were all from Utah, and they were all they're all cute. I mean, it was more like a episode of MTV Beach House that we happened to like fall into because they were all in bikinis and all just dancing
I was
and
not
drinking.
comfortable
And,
in that environment. That was not my scene, man. Rather be in the mountains alone. Maybe that's why I look back so bitterly on the whole experience.
oh man, I loved it because it's my life philosophy. My life philosophy is, well, I'm not going to tell you fuck you figure it out, but one of those girls now has been like on like X Factor or America's Got Talent.
Oh,
like
God.
she's like the one I made out with, but
Nice.
it's been really funny
You're
to
basically like a star now. That's awesome.
right. In America anyway. But yeah, no, I thought that shit was hilarious because like that happened and then like we got to see them one more time before we left and then
Yeah.
that was like it. Like we never like talked or communicated or whatever. I don't know, because that's kind of how Las Vegas functions. Like Vegas functions on that level of just like you collide with people and you might even have like one of the deepest moments and times with them, you know, while you're on like drunk or on drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like afterwards you're just like, we never talked about that ever again.
However, the infections that you contract
Apparently,
do not stay in Vegas. I've heard.
so am I.
And I'm not saying I've heard like my friend, you know.
No, but just
I've never
heard.
contracted an infection in Vegas, but I know some who have. And
Yeah.
that shit follows you to complete other states and countries. You still have.
Don't get to leave that.
Yeah, no, you don't. You got to take that. You got to take the consequences of
Oh man.
bacterial mingling.
That was the same time. That was the same time I met like two Russians, and we all went to like go hang out. And
Russians. I remember New Zealanders.
no, I brought some Russians up to the room.
Okay, I don't really remember that.
There was like a little blonde chick and a brunette or whatever. And but you know, so then you're in the club, right? In the Playboy Club, and somebody's going around taking photos and whatever, and then they end up getting like plastered on the internet.
Yeah.
And I found one from that night,
Oh,
and
shit.
and then someone I was dating at the time saw that too, and they were like, "What is
Oh,
this
no.
about? Is this who you're sleeping with?" And I was like, "No, I didn't have time to sleep with that person because we were fighting through text while I was on the dance floor the whole time."
Well, at least you made out with that other chick. And there weren't pictures of that, right?
No. I mean, there were pictures of us hanging out, and she saw those too, and she was like, "Who's that?" And I was like,
Was this the same person that said, "You think she's hot"?
No.
You date some shitty bitches. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't talk to
I
any
mean,
of them.
kind of.
Who cares?
We've all dated some shitty bitches.
It happens,
Such
man.
is life.
It happens. Sometimes
Trial and error, you know?
you're like thinking like, this person's down. This is a ride or die chick, man. We're gonna be there at the end, driving off the cliff, shooting at cops.
Yeah.
And then she like pushes you out of the car and like takes the car, and
Yeah.
the cops get you.
Takes your credit card and goes shopping in your car as the cops. Yeah.
I got
Descend
her
on
back. I got her back. She got gonorrhea from Vegas.
Well,
That is the danger. That is the danger of going to Vegas. So if you've never been to Vegas and you're ever thinking of going,
skip it, you know? Stay home and masturbate. Honestly, it's better.
I've never been able to like go back to Vegas because when you're with someone who has a lot of money, you don't
Right,
have to.
it's not the same
You don't have to
after
play
that.
by the rules.
Right.
Like if you go and you have to worry about money, you're just like, oh, I hope these pennies get us through the week, and like within a minute, you've just breathed, your 5 cents of air or whatever.
Yeah.
And when you're there with somebody who's got money,
Throwing bottles of Dom Perignon off
at
the fucking balcony of the
500
50th
feet
floor.
down or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't even know. but, like,
52nd floor, I think.
it was high as shit because.
It took a second for the crash noise to get to us, and it was only a p.
And you couldn't even see it most of the time. Like what
Right.
you could, like when he, so we threw like a double-sized, like a double or triple-sized Grey Goose bottle
Yeah.
out of there, and that one you could see the glass reflecting off of the lights, but that was it.
And we
Like,
partied with a guy that was in the Minnesota Twins system. He was
shit,
a
really?
professional. I don't think he was major league.
Yeah, but-
he had been in the farm system of the Minnesota Twins.
Damn.
And I think he was a pitcher. So he had a pretty hefty shoulder. Right?
Yeah.
He could fling a bottle off a balcony, and he threw one like 3/4 of the way across the fucking
Parking lot?
which was a huge parking structure. Like,
because even the weird thing is, so when you're throwing from that high, things. I don't know if they actually like bow back, or if it just seems like they bow back when they're
Right.
dropping.
I think
So-
it just appears that way.
It must just appear that way because
Unless you put weird spin on it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
God, man. Yeah, I have some video from those times in Vegas. I have so much video, dude. I almost thought about doing, okay, so every year UNM does we've talked about this, the experimental video.
Yeah. We spoke of it last week. Go back and have a listen, won't you?
Yes. Tell your friends.
Oh,
subscribe.
There was a mistake. It wasn't Agency E. It was IRS Glitch was the project that I played with at the Experimental
okay.
Film Festival. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did talk about that last week.
Yeah.
The Experimental Film Festival. Because I've been trying to come up with like, well, what would I would like to do something just to submit. I probably would not get on, although maybe I would because I'm still friends with one of the guys who, one of the professors who takes part in it.
Yeah.
So I thought about doing a piece called My Life in Pieces, and somehow just using because I have stuff from I don't know, when I'm like 7 years old or whatever, all the way to last week or whatever. I have just footage that spans my lifetime, and it's digitized and it's ready to be dropped in and edited. Mm-hmm. But
The Rob Nakai story.
right? And so I was just thinking I'll do a thing called Life in Pieces and somehow make I don't even know what I would do. Because again, the film festival's usually short. It's less than 5 minutes in some cases. There's some 12-minute long ones, but I wouldn't want to.
The whole festival's only 5 minutes?
Well, no, just
I know, I'm just giving you shit.
the submissions.
I got you.
But they have a lot, dude. They play 5 in a block or 15. I think I sat through 2 hours. That was 15 different films or whatever. So I don't know. I can't conceptualize a way to take me from 7 years old to however old I am now. And
Mysterious.
yeah, no, I can't tell them. I'm 21 for the 30th time.
Oh, sorry.
So you're 52. So yeah, I don't know. It would be cool to just have. It would be cool to not tell the age or the year or any of that shit, and just cut it up so you just watch me be older. But would you want to do it in chronological order? Would you want to do it backwards so you're starting out older and going young? Would
I
you?
picture more of a collage
Yeah.
of strange artifacts of
Each moment that kind of
Yeah.
says something.
goes all over the place.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool. That would be like a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, Tarantino that shit.
Timelines.
I think that's a verb now, to Tarantino something.
Tarantino.
Yeah, you start in the middle and then you...
I Tarantino'd her. What you shot her up with heroin and then shot her in the face, or what?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, no, I cut off her ear and did a dance to "Stuck in the Middle with You."
Anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. So that's an idea. That would be. I just know there's something artifactually I could do that has the potential to be interesting. Maybe it's all bullshit.
Art of fact.
Art of fact.
Art of fact.
A facty art.
Yeah.
How we doing? Are we running over?
It's about that
Are
time.
we long?
It's about time to say goodbye. Yeah. You got anything else you need to tell the world?
I don't know. Thought about doing another garage sale this weekend since the last one was so successful, but we'll have to get new items. We'll have to farm,
You know, open a store,
right?
weekend store. How long could you do that before they'd shut you down for having a store? You know what I mean?
I don't. You know, in this town, I don't.
does
Even,
that work?
I don't even think they'd
Are
notice.
there laws?
I don't, you know,
Is
unless
someone running this show in this world?
unless you're making like a good amount of money and you're skipping on taxes, nobody fucking cares. I don't
Right.
think. Like, I just, you know, drug dealers are all paranoid because they're like, "Hey, man, why don't you come hang out for a while?" And you're like, "Man, this drug dealer sucks. I don't want to sit there for 30 minutes." Well, this guy like,
Yeah, but I'd prefer that to meeting in a fucking gas station parking lot. You know,
yeah.
that's quick, but goddamn, it makes me paranoid. It's always
Well,
so obvious.
I used to pick up this one guy in my car when I was getting like brick stuff, and
Yeah. pushing weight.
he'd be in there with like a wad of dollar bills and a gun.
Jesus. Yeah, that's not the guy you want to give a ride to.
So I'd pick
I
him
would
up and drive him
prefer
around.
to have someone who I'm on friendly terms with, who I show up to their home and we hang out for a minute,
Right.
chat, see how things have been going, make the transaction, and be on our way.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I would like? I would like to be able to walk into a fucking store and be like, "Hey, that right there.
That is fun. I've done that twice.
Give that
It's
to
so
me.
fun.
Give that to me, and I will go ahead and walk out after this very legal transaction."
The first time I did it, I was very nervous. I was
Yeah.
like, am I going to say something wrong? If I say bong or something, our SWAT guy is going to come out of the ceiling. Hup, 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 hup. You know? is
They're
that
just gonna
like,
beat you with a tied up bamboo reeds or something.
beat me with a tie stick. Yeah, but the second time I was a pro. I walked in with confidence. I was
Yeah.
like, sell me some marijuana, ma'am. You know? It's awesome.
I would like your finest weeds.
Because it's like, when you're here, it's like if you're buying glass or whatever, it's like, what do I call it? Can I
Yeah.
call it a pipe?
Right.
Is that okay? Can I call
I
it? I
would-
can't call it a bong. What do I?
Is this your
say?
finest tobacco pipe?
Is this your finest pipe for tobacco use only?
Is this water pipe appropriate for my tobacco? So fucking stupid.
It's very
so fucking stupid.
It'll change soon.
It will.
Anyway.
It will fucking change soon, and everybody will feel. Hopefully, all those dead assholes feel stupid.
No, I'll start making podcasts where they're like, the universe both is and isn't, man.
It's a fucking paradox, bruh.
All right, I'm Loki Sapfoot.
And I'm Holiday Rob.
Ah!
Yeah.
This has been The Problem with Everything. It's a podcast. If
We
you-
do it, yeah.
If you like it, tell your friends. Subscribe on iTunes. Give me money.
Yes.
Word. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Hopefully, either next week or the week after. Next week, we will have a guest either way. I will find a guy on the street and we'll just pull him
We
off.
should do that. We've talked about doing that before, but then we're like, do we want random nefs to know where you live?
Right.
I don't know. Anyway,
I could just be like, we're borrowing this space.
I don't know who lives here. But that's even more incentive to rob it, right? It's like, hey, I know this spot. They got a bunch of equipment.
They have tons of comics.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been The Problem with Everything. Peace out. Much love. Go fuck your mother. Goodbye.
Later.
Hi, friends. It's Loki Sapfoot. This is The Problem with Everything.
Yay. I'm Holiday Rob.
Yay.
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 Man.
What?
Oh, before we get too deep into this, did you hear about those guys who were going to the Pokemon competition and they had like a car full of guns?
Oh, Jesus. Why?
I don't know. They kind of made a vague threat that they might.
Why you gotta ruin everyone's good time, man?
know.
Jesus.
Crazy.
That's awful.
So you're gonna play us a song?
Yeah, speaking of dorks and people that like things like Pokemon, I'm going to play a song. It's by a guy named Chris Kaiser. I think that's how you say it. It might be Chris Keyser. And it's like 8-bit chip music. So it sounds like video game music, but it's
Yeah.
all psychedelic and awesome.
Sweet.
So this is called Batsley Labs by Chris Keyser, or Kaiser.
Crazy.
Word. To play us out. What does that mean, to play us out? I don't know. Fuck it. We'll do it live. I'll write it. We'll do it live.